Okay, good morning, welcome.
AwesomeMath137a.
AwesomeMath137a. We were playing around and looking at a little bit of the history of continued fractions today.
Yep.
And we talked about a mathematician named Ramanujan. And then we also found that the continued fraction for the square root of 10 has a funny and surprising relationship with the continued fraction for pi. So I thought we would ourselves calculate the continued fraction for the square root of 10, and then we'll write down the one for pi. Okay, so how do we calculate a continued fraction?
We have to split flip and rat. So we've got to find the integer part of square root of 10.
Yeah.
9 square root of 16. So it's in between 3 plus the square root of 10 and less than 4.
Ah, okay, so great. So 10 is between 3 and 4, so what's the integer part?
The integer part is it's 3 plus the square root of 10 minus 3.
Very good. So we can write the square root of 10 as 3 plus the square root of 10 minus 3. Okay? All right?
And then we have to flip.
Okay, so why don't you write it down below now?
So
What happens when we flip?
3 plus 1 over square root of 10 minus 3.
Interesting. So we split it, now we flipped it. What do we have to do now?
We have to rationalize it. So we multiply by the square root of 10 plus 3 over the square root of 10 plus 3.
Okay.
And then, so we get 3 plus 1 over the square root of 10 plus 3. And then we have to do square root of 10 minus 3 plus the square root of 10 times the square root of 10 plus 3.
Yeah.
So we get 10. And then 3 times the square root of 10.
Okay.
And then minus 3 times the square root of 10.
Okay.
And then we get minus 9.
All right.
So these cancel. 10 minus 9 gives us 1.
Okay. And where is that 1 over here in your thing?
So it's over 1.
Okay. And what does it mean when we divide by 1?
Well, it just goes to 3 plus 1 over square root of 10 minus 3.
Yeah, it's like it's not even there.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we find ourselves here now. So we're at the square root of 10 is 3 plus square root of 10 minus 3, and that's equal to 3 plus 1 over the square root of 10 plus 3.
So now we have to find the integer. We have to find the integer part of this. We have to do it again.
Yeah.
Find integer part of that. Well,
Alright, so what is the integer part of the square root of 10 plus 3?
Well, it's 6 minus square root of 10 plus 3.
Alright, let's see. Let's see if 6 minus the square root of 10 plus 3 equals the square root of 10 plus 3.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Okay, but what do we have to do? Let's just talk about what the integer part is first. The square root of 10 plus 3, what's the integer part going to be?
Well, the integer part is this 3 and then plus another 3.
Okay, so that's the 6.
The 6, then we have.
So what are we going to have to do? So we have 6 plus something. We need to equal
The
square root of 10 plus 3.
Well, it's 6 plus maybe the square root of 10. 6 plus the square root of 10 minus 3.
Aha.
Minus.
So it's 6 plus
Square
the
root
square root
of
of
10
10
minus 3.
minus 3. Okay. So this is 3 plus 1 over 6 plus
The
square
square
root of 10 minus 3.
So now we have, then we flip this, we get 3 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 1 over the square root of 10 minus 3.
Okay?
But we've been here before.
We've been there before.
We have to multiply by the square root of 10 plus 3 over the square root of 10 plus 3, and then we get
What do we get?
3 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over the square root of 10 plus 3. And we're going down.
Yeah, be careful about how far that bar extends. 3 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over the square root of 10 plus 3, which is going to turn into, what is the continued fraction now for the square root of 10?
It's 3 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over.
There we go. So we have this amazing continued fraction for the square root of 10. 3 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 6.
Cool.
Cool. So there's square root of 10. Right? But we saw something for pi. It was very similar to this. So let's turn the camera off and write it down. And we'll write them right side by side, okay?
Okay.